Estamos iniciando mais um programa Entre Amigos Conversando com o Mundo. E hoje nós estamos aqui na Embaixada de Camarões e nós vamos conversar com o embaixador de Camarões, o Sr. Mbeng. Então, it's a great pleasure to be here in your embassy and to talk about Cameroon. And we would like to start this conversation, ask you to speak a little bit about your history, your country, because in Brazil, people don't know much about Cameroon. We know that you're very good in soccer, but we don't know much more about this besides this. So tell us a bit about your story.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. First of all, I would like to welcome the entire team of TV Supren. Seja bem-vindo. Fica à vontade.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's a pleasure for us to receive you. I had contact with TV Supren many years ago. And so it's another opportunity for me to speak about Cameroon and our friendly relations with Brazil.
So you have been in Brazil for some time?
For quite some time now.
How many years?
Only 10 years.
10 years. Oh,
yes.
So you know the country well now.
It's so beautiful, and so much so that time passes without me knowing. Yes. So I would like to seize this opportunity to talk about Cameroon. Cameroon is a country which is located in Central Africa. And it has as neighbors to the north, Chad. To the east, you have to the east, you have Central African Republic, and to the south, Congo, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea. And to the west, we have as neighbor Nigeria. The political capital of Cameroon is Yaoundé, and the economic capital is Douala. Population, our country is estimated to be 25 million people now.
And the Portuguese arrived in Cameroon before they arrived in Brazil, right?
Very good story.
Yeah.
The Portuguese arrived in Cameroon in the 1492 or so, and they found, very interesting, they arrived at the estuary, a river, which they saw so many prawns.
That's why
Camarões, that's why they called it, and they said Rio dos Camarões, and that is the origin of our name.
Yeah, very interesting.
Cameroon.
Do you still have a lot of shrimps?
We still have some. You can come visit. And then the Portuguese did not stay for long. Well, but they left very interesting words in our language. You'll be surprised to know that we have words like non sabi in our lingua franca, and no sabi, which means I don't know. You have words like pequeno, which means small, which means child, and many other words. And we even have cities called Pendamboko. Here you have Pernambuco. You have cities called Susa. So we think that is the legacy of the Portuguese that discovered Cameroon. But
do you still have Portuguese-speaking communities there?
No, but we have the relics. We have the relics. But soon after that, we were a German colony after the Berlin Conference of 1884. And after Germany was defeated in First World War, we became a protectorate of the League of Nations, administered by the English and the French.
So the country was divided?
The country was divided. English-speaking part administered by the French. The French-speaking part administered by the French, and then the English-speaking part by the British. So after the Second World War, when Germany was defeated, the same thing happened. We were a trust territory, mandated territory by the United Nations. And then the French-speaking part had its independence in 1960. Then the English-speaking part had its independence by joining the French-speaking part in 1961.
So at this time, then, you had the final configuration of the country.
Of the country, yes. And that is why we are bilingual. Our official languages are English and French.
And in school, you learn both languages?
We learn both languages. The English-speaking students learn an intensive French, and vice versa for the French-speaking. So that's why we're bilingual.
But you have many other languages, local languages.
We have
a lot of ethnical groups.
Yes,
right?
yes.
and a lot of diversity in your country.
Yes.
How is it like, having so many different languages in a country that's not so big?
Exactly. Cameroon is a cradle of civilization, and we have one of our riches is diversity. We have up to 240, more than 240 different ethnic groups speaking different ethnic languages.
And they understand each other?
Some of the languages are related. Others are not necessarily. Sometimes within a distance of 4 miles, you have change.
How about the writing? Is it similar, or they have different types?
Some of the languages are written like the Fumban. It's quite historic, quite an ancient language where they have scripts, but others are just spoken. Yes, because we are of the Bantu, most of the Bantu culture, even the ones of the north, mostly oral tradition. And besides those languages, we have a lingua franca, which is called Pidgin English, spoken by so many countries in West Africa, including Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, up to Sierra Leone. Lingua franca, Pidgin English. And this Pidgin English, you have words from local languages and some Portuguese words, as I said, some French and some English, mixed with our local languages. This language is spoken, it's not written.
So when you go from one part of the country to the other, normally they communicate in English or French?
Yes.
Because there's a difference in the language and the writing, right?
Exactly, exactly. And the Pidgin English is used mostly by people who are not necessarily literate. So it's used as language, social language, and commercial sometimes in the markets.
And within the family, do they speak mostly the local language or English or French?
It all depends, but most families who speak their local languages, we encourage people to learn and speak local languages.
It's nice to maintain the tradition and the culture. Otherwise, you start losing your roots. Right?
Exactly. That's our identity. So we, in our educational system, they encourage that people should start doing research to teach local languages as well.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yes.
One thing I was very impressed that I read that you have 42% of your territory covered by forests.
Yes. Yes.
Native vegetation. So this is very interesting, and nowadays is something very precious, something that more and more is becoming a treasure for the world. And do you have this intention to keep your forests, and there is this ecological mentality?
Yes, we are very conscious of our environment. As you know, after the Amazon tropical forests, the Congo Basin is the second largest, it is said, forest. And Cameroon is part of that. Cameroon has part of that vegetation. First, Cameroon is very diversified in terms of geography.
You have savannas also?
We have from the equatorial forests, we have savanna and desertic type towards the north. So we have quite a variety. Yeah. And for us, conservation of the forest is a priority for government. Yes, it's a big priority for us.
So deforestation right now has stopped?
We do logging, but we also try to replant trees as much as possible. Yes, so we are very conscious of the ecology, of maintaining that balance between exploitation and reforestation.
This is very important. And do you receive incentives from other countries to keep the forests standing?
Certainly, we receive a lot of cooperation efforts with our partners, including Brazil. We have been sharing information within the framework of our forests, COMIFAC, and the Amazon partners. Yes.
Yeah, this is very important. And your main resource is agriculture. You export a lot of different types of foods, right?
Yes, we do. Our main economic activity is agriculture, which occupies a very substantial part of the population. And we produce cocoa, coffee, timber, banana, and a host of many other products. And we are self-sufficient in food production.
Yes,
self-sufficient, yes. And we even export to our neighbors.
You export not only to Africa, but to other
countries.
also.
Yes.
It's interesting. We have in common the coffee.
Yes.
We produce a little cocoa, but not as much as you do.
Yes, we also produce palm oil, one of the few countries in the world that produces, quite a variety of things, including palm oil.
And you have a lot of diversity also in the fauna and the flora.
Yes.
A lot of wild animals. And this is very interesting.
Wonderful. Because of the diversity we have all kinds of touristic attractions. We have ecotourism, in the forest area. We also have savanna type, tourism in the north with a lot of, what do they call it again? Safari tourism.
So many people come to Cameroon to see the elephants and giraffes and
all of
lions.
And we even have very strong touristic communities in Europe coming to do bird watching. Because of, yes, we have all of that. And we have very interesting species of various woods.
And it's easy if you go there to see elephants in the savannas? Or?
You have to go to the area where those are.
We have several national parks.
We have, yes, we do. We do have. And especially in the northern
So safari is popular?
Safari is very popular, yes. We receive a lot of tourists from Europe, from America, and we would like to see Brazilians. Why not also come for tourism?
I'm curious to be there and to know better your country.
You are welcome anytime, and you have a lot to see.
Yes, I believe so. Ecotourism is something that's very popular now. People are coming to do ecotourism, right?
Right.
Yeah, to visit the forests also. And you have a high mountain also.
We have very high mountain. Mount Cameroon is one of the highest peaks in Western Central Africa. It's a very interesting tourist location.
So you have both the hot weather and the cold weather in the mountains?
We have quite a mix, yes.
Então, nós estamos chegando ao final desse primeiro bloco do nosso programa Entre Amigos Conversando com o Mundo, em que nós estamos conversando com o embaixador de Camarões. Até daqui a pouco. Estamos de volta com o nosso programa Entre Amigos Conversando com o Mundo, em que nós estamos hoje aqui na Embaixada de Camarões, conversando com o embaixador desse país, o senhor Mbeng. E Camarões é um país africano que fica no oeste da África, no Atlântico, e é um país que tem uma biodiversidade fantástica. So I was saying that you have a very nice biodiversity.
Yes.
You have, not only a lot of forests, but different kind of vegetations, different kind of animals, and you receive a lot of tourists from everywhere in the world that want to see the wild animals that are rare in other countries, but are very common in Cameroon.
Right.
So perhaps you could talk a little bit more about your country, your attractions, so that people can feel tempted to visit Cameroon.
Yes, thank you very much. As you rightly pointed out, one of the things that characterizes Cameroon is its biodiversity. Different touristic attractions, from forests, kind of ecotourism. You also have safari tourism in the north with savanna type population. You also have mountain kind of tourism, and we have beautiful beaches as well. So we have quite a variety for all kinds of interests. So we would like we would hand some few documents which would show you the various things that we have. But it is Cameroon is known as Africa in miniature.
Yeah, because you have everything that you have in Africa.
Everything that you have in other African countries, you have them in Cameroon, including Angola.
So you don't have to go anywhere else. Go to Cameroon
go to Cameroon,
Africa.
And that is Africa. And besides that, we have a very dynamic population. We are bilingual in English and French. So that diversity, is attractive to all kinds of things, business interests, touristic interests, and so on.
And we have a very cultural diversity also.
Yes.
You can see many different expressions of culture.
Yes, exactly.
Artifacts of all kinds.
Artifacts of all kinds, from the Fumban area, the Tika ethnic group, and Savannah type, all kinds of things, which you would find in several African countries. You find in Cameroon.
Very interesting.
Yes.
So when we visit Cameroon, we'll be able to see what dances, and you have typical music of Cameroon as well.
Quite a variety as well
All
in
right.
that area. Quite a variety. And if any person visits Cameroon, I would like him to go to all our 10 regions, because each region has something different to present.
Interesting.
Yes, quite interesting.
Now, regarding sports, I know that you're very good and very known for soccer,
Yes.
right? And we have even played in the World Cup with Cameroon, and I think it's the most known national sport, right?
Very
soccer.
true. Very true. Yes, that is a passion we share with Brazil.
Yes,
Yes,
certainly.
and of course, Brazil and Cameroon have met in various encounters, and we have very good athletes, as you know.
Yes.
You know Roger Mila and Eto'o. Wherever I go, everywhere, people always ask. Cameroon, the first thing that comes to the mind is World Cup soccer.
Right.
Roger Mila and Eto'o. So it's a passion we share together. But
and besides soccer, what other sports do you like?
I was going to say, besides soccer, we have other sports, handball, basketball, all kinds of sports, various athletics, not only football, but football is a major one.
Yeah.
Yes, there are many other sports. Football.
So we have a lot in common with Brazil. The kind of landscape we have in Brazil is similar, the forests.
Yes.
So we have a lot in common. I think we must increase this interchange between Brazil
Yes.
and Cameroon. So how is it now, this not only political but the commercial interchange between Cameroon and Brazil?
Very interesting. The cooperation between Cameroon and Brazil is very privileged, very profound, and very promising. Privileged because Brazil is one of the first countries that recognized the independence of Cameroon. January 1960, Brazil was one of the first countries to recognize Cameroon. And after that, we have had very intensive cooperation, very, very intensive in so many areas. Our cooperation is quite diversified. We opened our embassy in '84, and ever since, we have had top-level visits. President Lula visited Cameroon in 2005, 2006, and President Paul Biya, President of Cameroon, visited Brazil in 2010. So many agreements have been signed. And the major areas of cooperation is agriculture, infrastructure development, and so on and so forth. So
I think we have much to gain in this cooperation, in this interchange, because we have similar economies, and I think we can profit from helping one another. I believe
Exactly.
Not only Cameroon but African countries, I think, have much to profit with a good cooperation with South American countries
Exactly.
like Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Brazil and Cameroon, we share a lot of expertise in various areas, as we had pointed out. It's a win-win cooperation. Brazil produces a lot of things that Cameroon produces, but the comparative advantage of Brazil is its technology, the level of transformation of agricultural products. So those are the areas which we are highly involved with Brazil.
And how would you describe your culture? What are the main characteristics of your culture that the highlights of the culture that you can perhaps share with us?
Our culture, as we had pointed out, is very diversified. It depends on what part of the country you find yourself. The diversity. In the forest area, you have different sets of culture. You see it in the arts, you see it in the artifacts that people produce. You see it in dances, you see it in music, and so on. So it's quite interesting. And also, if you look at Cameroon very carefully, we have diversity in terms of religion. We have Christians, we have Muslims, we have also traditional religions. And the culture also reflects that reality.
What's the major religion in Cameroon that has more adepts?
All the religions are very important, but Christians would form a good part, a good majority of it. And then you have Muslims who constitute about 1/5 of the population. Then the rest are traditional religions.
And they go along well with each other?
Very well. We coexist very well, with no problems at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is something we have in common also in Brazil. We all relate quite well to one another.
Exactly. And as you had mentioned before, we, in our matrimonial system, we have monogamy and we have traditional pattern of that, which is also polygamy.
So polygamy is legal in your country?
It's legal, and it coexists. And we inherited that from our past, and it's something which is there. You would find, like in the mostly Muslim and other traditional parts, polygamy is allowed. When people are contracting a marriage, the birth certificate, the marriage certificate, you have to insist, you have to indicate what regime you practice, monogamy or polygamy. It's our tradition, it's our culture.
Is there a maximum number of wives that one man can have or not?
Well, government does not go restricting, but it's just a matter of practical thing for everybody. The Muslim, those who are in the Muslim area, they are allowed up to 4 wives, for instance. But you find in some traditional chieftaincies, in some traditional kingdoms, where the kings would have as many wives as they can have. But all of these have a social context. It is bringing people together.
So it's something that's old. Polygamy was already usual before the Portuguese came.
Yes, certainly, because as you know, most of our communities are rural, agricultural farming communities. So sometimes when people had 2, 3 wives and so many children, all of them are together, united to, cultivate. But a lot of this is changing now.
But is it possible for a woman to have several husbands also?
No, not yet.
No. It's not fair.
No. Not yet. Maybe we'll get to that level.
Normally, still the husband is the chief of the family.
The husband is the chief of the family. He is a central figure who unites everybody.
And to have several wives, he must have a good financial gain, so that
it shows the management skills of the head of the family. And it's amazing to see that this system works in those traditional societies without major problems, because they understand.
No conflict.
No conflicts. Wherever there are conflicts, well, the arbiter will be able to unite them.
But is there a movement against polygamy within the woman, the female population, or it's well accepted by all of them?
Of course, you have all kinds of influences from social media, from the society today. That is not lacking. You have women rights movements. We are a very free country, a very liberal country. We have liberty of expression, and government is the arbiter of all these contradictions.
You have a democracy, right?
We have democracy. We have so many political parties.
You have the president and the prime minister.
Different branches of government. We have the executive.
And the president is elected.
Is elected, yes. President is elected. We have 2 houses of parliament, just like here, the Senate and the House of Representatives here, and what we call National Assembly. Then we have an independent judiciary.
Okay,
yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
So I think we have now a better idea of what Cameroon has to offer. I hope that we can increase our interchange and we can visit your country also to make it more known to all of us. So it was a pleasure to be with you, and I thank you for your attention. And we are open to increase this interchange. If you have films about Cameroon, we would be glad to show in our TV. So we keep open this channel of interchange with you.
Thank you, Eduardo, for this opportunity.
So it was a pleasure.
We look forward
Thank you very much, and
we look forward to more encounter.
Yes, sure.
And we are very happy to share whatever information would be useful for the. And we are hoping that more Brazilians would visit Cameroon.
Sure.
Not only to do business, better stories as well.
Sure.
Yes.
Então, realmente, nós ficamos assim, tentados para conseguir mais informações e conhecer um pouco mais esse país tão interessante, que tem uma diversidade tão grande. E nós estamos, então, encerrando aqui esse nosso programa Entre Amigos Conversando com o Mundo, em que nós conversamos com o embaixador de Camarões. Então, até a próxima. Fiquem conosco.